All right, welcome back to watching. We're continuing our series where we're watching all the star rookie hitters in their first, 50 or so plate appearances through MLB. This video is on Mr. Kevin McGonigle. He's the #2 prospect in all of baseball following a sensational season last year in the minor leagues. He's already off to a great start in the big leagues right now. He's at 1 B war at the moment with 19 hits already, 412 on base, 508 slug, 920 OPS. He is the #1 Detroit Tigers prospect. Last season, he was absolutely absurd in the minor leagues, having a 991 OPS between 3 different clubs, hit 305, collected 101 hits, 31 doubles, 19 homers. He's an interesting player. He's not very tall, 5'9", 187. I think that's part of what's going to make it so interesting to watch how these guys try to get him out. He's the one hitter I saw this year in spring training of the rookies where I said, I'm not necessarily sure what the play is here. He's small. The ABS is going to help him. He's used to hitting high pitches. He likes velocity. He's got some power. There's a lot of things to watch. So I'm very fascinated to watch. These are the StatCast numbers coming into the video. 405 x WOBA. He looks great everywhere along the road. He doesn't really have great exit velo on average, but he has the ability to park some balls. Bat speed right around league average, which honestly for a guy who's known for his contact hitting ability, that's actually pretty good. Most of those guys are kind of on the lower end of the scale, so that's a pretty good combination. Bat to ball skills with about league average bat speed, actually really good combination. Also 75th percentile in sprint speed. He's been a little bit on the downside on defense, but it's not really what we're here to see. We're here to watch McGonigle in all of these at-bats. It's 68 plate appearances, so this is going to be a little bit to watch, but I'm excited. And in his debut on the 26th versus the Padres of March, he gets 4 hits. So let's jump right in there. All right, Tigers and Padres, the 26th, and here he is, Kevin McGonigle. He started this game batting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the 6 hole. He didn't stay there for long. And the first pitch he sees of his career is a first pitch cutter from Nick Pivetta, very good pitcher. Up and dotted, and yet he gets to it anyway and smashes it down the line. So this was a sensational debut. This was of no surprise to me after I watched him in spring training. This guy's going to be tough to pitch to, and here is example number 1. This pitch is a cutter up in, actually exactly where he wants to throw it, right? I mean, this ball is absolutely painted up in. Now, most guys are going to get jammed by this pitch, or they're going to be way out in front of it where they pull it foul. He somehow stays inside of it, but pulls it, and therefore he doesn't pull it foul. But just being ready to hit in a bases loaded situation in your debut, what can I say? This kid is definitely ready to hit. And that's a nice first swing he ever takes in the big leagues. Here's it from the side. You can see the load is very simple. He kind of creeps back, waits on that back leg. He's very coiled. He's very powerful. He's very compact. He likes to stay behind the ball as he hits it. Head down on contact, and first at-bat double. All right, second at-bat versus Mr. Pivetta. He's going to get that 4-seam. Nick's got one of the best 4-seams in the game in terms of total lift. That's an 18.8 vert. That's low for him. Usually he's over 20, and he's also got a tremendous curveball. So his arsenal has always been designed to strike lefties out. So he gets to an 0-2 count here, and let's see. Fastball up, there's a take. Curveball off of that. So in the early going, Pivetta's just going to pitch to his strengths. I mean, that's what I would probably do if I'd never faced a guy before. And McGonigle, I don't have any bright ideas yet. So let's see. Curveball down, outstanding take there. And then here's a fastball. So curveballs and fastballs this at-bat. There's a fastball at the top of the zone. This ball is cranked off the wall. It's also 23 inches of induced vertical break. So this is an incredibly high-riding fastball. This is a no-joke fastball. I know it's a 2-2 count, and he's got a swing here anyway. But to be on time for this and to get on top of this ball is actually quite special. To get up there and to get through a ball damn near the top of the zone, if not higher, from a guy with 23 vert, it's just a special ability to hit the high ball. And that's the first thing I noticed about him. Look, he's on the shorter side. This is one of the reasons why I like shorter hitters if they have skills. They've been getting pitched up their whole lives. They develop a skill set for that. And so a pitcher like him with incredible ride doesn't bother him. So that's a linea off the wall, 105.9. That's the other part that I've noticed in the early going. he hits the ball hard. He's not like a slap hitter for contact like you would think given his size and his batting averages. He has some thump in there. All right, here's Marinaccio. This is a fastball, great changeup, and a little bit of a sweeper. He's got a cutter as well to keep you honest, but the changeup is the plus. So let's see on 0-2 how he goes at it. Changeup down, there's a take. Four-seam off of that. Look at the target up away. Spits on that off the corner, so already showing a very good eye and an ability to compete in the box and be locked in. Changeup down. Now, I mentioned it's a tremendous changeup. He's going to get a hit on this because there's indecision on the defense. So this is no fault of the pitcher, and this is weak contact. But this is also another part of his game. We just noted 75th percentile sprint speed. And he puts ball in play, and he gets on base. So kind of a weird play there. All right, now he's got Bradley, Rodriguez. First pitch changeup, second pitch sinker, target in. This one he does come in a bit under, so this is the first time he gets out. Kind of gets beat by a sinker middle in and pops it up. All right, last step out of the game, and it's the lefty, Wandy Peralta. He's a sinker slider guy. Tough matchup left on left, especially for a guy you haven't seen. Also has a really good changeup. Here it comes.
That's great. You're gonna give,
pulls it foul out in front of that, and then now there's a sinker at 94.7. So, ooh, and it's a quick pitch sinker, and it's dotted in, and he's on it. He's just on it. Line drive to right, no problem. Always ready to hit. One thing I love about his timing mechanism, yeah, there's a little bit of a very low leg kick, but it's just like a crunch. He just kind of crunches and coils, and I feel like he's ready to hit. Being ready to hit is a big deal in the big leagues because you have a lot of velocity of guys that will quick pitch you like a Wandy. And guys will try timing things if you give them a reason to, like having a big leg kick or a slow loading mechanism. McGonigle doesn't really have that. It's pretty compressed and pretty, I mean, that's pretty simple right there and quick. And honestly, he was just ready, like engaged in the at-bats. So I think the mentality obviously is ultimately what sets your ability to reach your ceiling or not. And you can kind of get a glimpse of it a little bit there. I did do a Tigers game on NBC, and when we talked to AJ Hinch, he immediately compared him to Bregman. So that's a pretty insane compliment given Bregman's baseball IQ. So I love that right away as well, and that makes me even more high on him. All right, second game of the series on the 27th. He's going to go 1 for 3 with a walk. He's facing Michael King, my buddy. All right, sinker here. Called strike, taken all the way. Nobody on in this spot, going to the changeup. So all the pitchers have pitched to their strength so far. There's been no pattern yet on anybody trying anything. Changeup miss there, but that's Kinger anyway, and then he goes for the front door freeze. Misses down the middle and almost gets clipped here. Jackson Merrill actually takes away a home run, so this would have been a home run. This is the sign of a good hitter. He's not off of the fastball just because he got slowed down with the changeup before it. He stays on it, and look, if you execute this pitch perfectly, it's a great pitch, but when you make a mistake over the middle, you have to be able to punish that, and he does. By all intents and purposes, he does. I mean, he gets out. And a great smile by Kinger there, but, I mean, great catch by Jackson, great swing, great baseball all around here. Just impressive so far of how on time he's been on these fastballs and hitting them where they're pitched. The ones on the very inside part of the plate, what's he doing with those? Pulling them down the line. The ones down the middle, driving it to center. So he looks great this leg at the beginning here. And this is what I expected to see. This kid, not sure what the method is yet. He's small. It looks like he competes in the box. He has an ability to concentrate. That's something that's super underrated in the game. It's just your overall, how good can you lock in?
McGonigle way out in front of that cambio.
All right, change up there 2-0, change up 2-1. So Kinger's like, I think change up might be the play. So he's sticking with change ups now, and he ends up walking him. So already kind of rattled because he pushes him to a non-primary pitch, one behind in the count. That's a good place to be. Also, it helps you start to sit on pitches. Once you sense that the pitchers around the league have a little bit of fear, you know you can sit off speed when you're ahead in the count. All right, this is a crazy matchup. Morihone, one of the best relievers in the game. That's a 100.5 mile an hour sinker up for ball 1. Slider here, ball 2. So he's fortunate that he gets 2 bad pitches in a row. And he's able to kind of check him here. Yeah, that's a take all the way. 98.6 sinker. I mean, this is the big league, son. This is some nasty stuff coming. Morihone, 89 slider. That's a take. Again, he just threw a 98 mile an hour sinker early in the at bat. He threw one over 100, so this ball starts on the inner lane. You think it's going to hit you. That's what McGonigle does. He kind of bails a little bit there. It's the first time I've seen him do that, but who can blame him? And then here's another slider. And he actually gets bailed out of this at-bat a little bit with 2 strikes because of a throw-out. So that's it for that. Now he's getting Morihone again, and this time he's going to attack that first pitch sinker. It is dotted up and in, so perfect pitch, pitcher's pitch. And he does get rolled over there. Impressive to even get to that, though, honestly. All right, Peralta again in a huge spot. Remember, hit him, got him on a fastball last time in and was ready to hit. It was a quick pitch fastball, drove it to right center. So change up there. Sinker here, up and away, ball. So you'd think he's going to go heavy changeup mix here. Ball down. Here comes the sinker, 96-8. Wandy throwing hard. Fires out a ball there, just showing you how difficult it is to discern strikes and balls at the big league level from certain pitchers. I mean, this is 96-8, boring in on the hands. He fires at that and actually somehow keeps his hands tight enough to hit this ball with wood. I mean, look how close this is to his body. So again, another advantage of being a small guy, usually shorter arms, harder to get in on you. That's a big feature of Bregman, for example, but some others. All right, changeup coming here. So all sinkers and changeups thus far. Ooh, good battle, fouls that away. This is a grind of an at-bat already. Oof, another one up in, stays on it. So he's covering changeup below, fastball up in. Umpire getting absolutely rocked right here. Sinker again. They just got to keep spamming something, huh? Another in, and he's on time. Foul ball. Fights him off. Okay, slider away. Come on. Got to throw him the slider. Wow, a very cheeky foul ball, if I may say so myself. Little half swing poke, but he's firmly in swing mode. But man, the bat to ball skill is real. Here's a ball in the dirt. Change up. You got to try to get him the chase now. And now he's spitting. So now he gets you to 3-2, bases loaded. Great at bat, regardless of what happens. And I do think he gets a hit. It's another sinker. Oh, and he's all over it. Perfectly on time. Wandy had nothing for him. Wandy threw some bastard pitches. He even got him to swing at some balls, and he was able to stay alive. I mean, that's just... that's a 5-star at bat. What can I say? This is a great at bat. Sucks if you're pitching because you did everything and then you threw them the one pitch you can hit, and of course he gets a hit. So great job by the hitter though, McGonigle. Way to grind that at bat out, and that alone just tells me a lot about him, the mental side. All right, so that's it for this game. First 2 games incredibly impressive. All right, here's an offer on the 28th, also versus the Padres. 0 for 4. He's got Vasquez. Has actually looked very good so far in this season, Randy Vasquez. All right, first pitch curveball. So if there's one thing I'm noticing so far is he doesn't really come off the fastball. He can still hit slow pitches, but he's definitely looking fastball for the most part for now, from what I can tell. All right, going to grind here from 0-2. Curveball fouled away. Curveball again. I love how he doesn't just go down on 3 pitches all that often. Like, he's going to make you work for it. Strikeouts are not going to be easy. Spits on back-to-back curveballs there. Here comes the changeup. Guys are giving him everything they got, and he's working him back to 3-2 like crazy. Curveball hammered foul. And then he's going to get punched out on a sinker. Let's see if it's a perfect pitch. Accidental front door. Ooh, and it was down, and it was a great take. So even though he gets out here, I think you got to give him credit for the take. He doesn't challenge it, obviously, but it's kind of hard to challenge in the second inning as a rookie with nobody on. He wanted to. Great at-bat, though. Another great at-bat. So he should have been on first time there. All right, second at-bat. Sweeper ball. Sweeper again. Nope, just really good strike zone judgment. I think his level, honestly, you can see it in his face. He's locked in. I mean, hammers that pitch foul. So he sees enough of one shape, he's going to be on it. Now here's a changeup. Very good pitch, and it does get the reach and rollover. So that's going to happen. That was a nice pitch. All right, next up, Kyle Hart, left on left, which has not seemed to be an issue yet. Slider away. He knows that's a ball, but doesn't challenge it. So 0-1. Sweeper off that. Painted. That's just a perfect pitch. So now he's down 0-2 again. And he's got a grind, but it looks like at least goes 6 pitches. So again, this is what he does. Sweeper ball. Splitter coming. Nasty, but no. Sweeper coming. No, gets him back to 3-2. Ooh, he challenges here and gets it wrong. I mean, he worked hard. He worked hard for it, but this pitch is dotted. So, man, both of the first two at-bats were super grindy in this game. Oh, now he's got Mason Miller. The nastiest pitcher in the world right now. Slider, strike one. Top shelf slider, and they challenge and they get it. And then so he gets 3 sliders.
Hey, struck him out, and the Padres will win.
I mean, that's a perfect pitch. So hard to fault him there. Mason Miller punches everybody out. All right, next is at the Diamondbacks on 3:30. All right, Soroka, who has looked great in the early going. All right, first pitch, 4-seam. Ball 1. Second pitch, 4-seam. Ball 2. All right, he's probably going to hit it hard, I would imagine. Yeah. He's getting great swings off. He's on time. That's 103.4 at 24. So, good swing there. Soroka again. Slurve, strike 1. Slurve take. Slurve again. So 3 heaters the first at-bat, 3 slurves the second at-bat. He does get him the rollover. How hard he hit that. 99. Still decently hard. He's comes through at an incredibly uppercutty attack angle as well. I noticed this with J.J. Weatherhold. I think McGonigle might be even more so. So occasionally when he miscalculates, that's the rollover ground ball right there. All right, Joe Ross. Another 5-pitch at bat. Ooh, swing and miss at a sinker. Joe Ross throwing gas, 96.7. Change up off that. Good take. Sinker off that. Way more righty sinkers to lefties this year. That is definitely back. Teams are letting you do that again. Slider ball 3-1, and then 3-1 sinker. He's going to draw the walk, so he doesn't chase. He makes you come to him. Good at-bat there. Actually, I like all of his at-bats in this game, even though he hasn't gotten a hit yet. Slider backdoor ball. This is Thompson. This guy's nasty. It's a weird angle. Ball 2. Looks like it's going to be another walk. Unless he swings 3-0. Nah, 4-pitch walk, so he had nothing for him either. Another quality day at the yard there. I thought that was a good day at the yard for the kid. All right. Next one is on the 31st. Same teams. And now we moved into the 2-hole, Brandon Pfaadt. So it didn't take too long for AJ to move him up. All right, first pitch of his at-bat. He challenges now, getting a little more confident. He's right on that. That is low, big-time low, and he gets to a 1-0 count. Sinker coming. Diamondbacks have no problem having their righties throw sinkers to lefties so far. Or maybe they feel like that's a good pitch to McGonigle. Dotted down and away. Here comes cutter. Nobody really tried too many cutters since he hit that Pavetta cutter. This is one of the first ones we've seen, and it does work. He's under it. That pitch is down in. Man, it's a fine line between driving that ball and just missing it. All right, next at-bat versus Pfaadt. Curveball coming. First and third one out here. Curveball take, good pitch. Change up off that. Perfect pitch. And curveball off that. Puts it in play, though. That's his job here, and he's going to get a hit out of it. So, you know, the bat to ball, it shows up all over the place. This is not a perfect pitch by any means, but it's a ball. And he has to reach and tap it. And it works out. All right. Interesting there. Now he's got Pfaadt again. So 4 ABs versus Pfaadt. 4 PAs, I should say. Curveball, ball. Curveball pulled foul. I haven't really seen much fast stuff in this game. Change up away, ball. Here comes sinker. Ooh, actually, one of the first swings he came off of it, and he still is going to be a warning track shot, basically. 100.5 at 44. Just comes off this ball just a bit. And is under it. Okay, sinker not horrible so far. All right, Andrew Hoffman, change up, ball. Change up again. So nobody wants to throw this guy a fastball. That's become pretty obvious in this Diamondback series. Soroka threw a few, but after that, it's been all off speed. All right, nice sliding catch there. He didn't hit this ball very good. But he got in the air. Got off the end. So kind of a nothing play. All right, next up, we are into the next month. Still Arizona on the 1st. Back in that 2-hole versus Zach Gallen.
Tigers jumped him right up to the big leagues this spring after he
Curveball down.
Times, but they managed to keep him fairly quiet. Yeah, McGonigle.
Fastball fouled off.
That's not fair. Some of us had 2 stops.
There's a fastball. Curveball down. Everybody's just pitching to their strengths. I haven't seen any major obvious trends except they're not throwing him fastballs. They pretty much stopped throwing him fastballs for the most part. I haven't seen hardly any fastballs. But other than that, there's no one pitch that anybody's going to. Change up here. Drives that ball too. Just misses it. Good pitches by Gallen. Just out of the crush zone. All right, curveball here. Strike. Change up. He's seen one fastball in this game. And I don't know how many he saw in the last game, but it was minimal. Cutter here, 2-1. Change up coming. Fouls it off. Knuckle curve. It's got to be weird getting this few. I mean, he's getting none. Hey, and rides out a curveball and rips it down the line. Is he going to get 3 on this?
His tremendous start for the Tigers, and he's going for 3rd. Kevin McGonigle,
Sure is. Good hustle on that, but look how he rides out this ball.
just by a diving Fernandez. McGonigle continues.
I mean, that's impressive. And then watch him run. Let's watch him run a little bit because this is part of his game too. Dun, 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 dun. Coming around second. Little head first dive. Very, very nice. Very nice. All right. Then he gets one at bat versus my guy, Johnny Lasagna.
Loizaga, 31-year opportunity to pitch in those spots with the Diamondbacks, and he's got one right here. That's a strike. It's 1-1.
All right, change up here. Great change up, great sinker on Johnny. Gets him to a 2-1 count, and he's going to get a hit here. 97.5 sinker. He's seen a ton of sinkers. If they have been fastballs, they've been sinkers. Other than that, I mean, it's been off speed, off speed, off speed. So, but it didn't work this game. He had a good game that game. 2 for 4 with a triple. Both contacts were just like perfect pitches by Gallen. All right, to the Cardinals, Detroit and St. Louis. And it was the first on the 3rd. McGonigle now moves his way to the leadoff spot. So ends up in the leadoff spot pretty quickly.
Kevin's going to take a rip at his first pitch.
All right, now McGreevy went with a heater, and here's a changeup. I mean, first pitch of the game, maybe that's how you buy him a heater. Man, this ball's smashed. That ball carried like crazy. Great catch by Victor Scott. 102.5 at 28, and this ball really traveled. Wow. He continues to impress me with how well he can backspin a ball and also just how well his balls carry and that he can go to all fields. All right, next at bat, first pitch curveball. So again, back to the non-fastball approach. Just misses this, hits it up. They have been having a little success with it, but it's not like great success. For the most part, he's still battling them pretty hard. All right, heater here. Strike. Heater here. Look at that up away target. Wow. Nowhere close. And then curveball. So he got 2 fastballs there and then right back to the curveball. Slices it to left. Well placed. That should be a double with his speed. There he goes. And he's in there. Nice swing. Just a little slice down the line. Not another curveball below the zone. He really does uppercut a lot, which is actually surprising. But it's not affecting him at all. He's still on time and able to get to stuff at the top, and then he's also able to scoop balls off the bottom. Change up ball, change up here again. So more of the same, no real fastballs. Here's a sinker. Not a lot of four-seamers, that's for sure. And he actually does roll over this sinker. So righties seem to have gotten better results with sinkers rather than four-seamers. And we haven't seen a lefty in a minute. All right. Next game. Also versus the Cards. This is on the 4th. Dustin May. 3-pitch strikeout. Wow. I mean, I'm also trying to think about, like, he's barely struck out. I can't think of too many. And a couple of them, he was right about calls. He just didn't challenge him. Ooh, perfect pitch there, up and in four seam. But hey, he took a great rip at that. He was ready for that. And he's going to go down on a sweeper. Dustin May has one of the nastier sweepers in the game. I mean, it's 3,100 RPM. So he gets frozen there. Good pitching by Dustin May. Cutter here. That's a ball, but he gets called a strike. And then a changeup coming off of that. Slim max it up the middle for a base hit. Only 91.4, but nice accuracy. Stays on the changeup. Little base hit there. All right, next at bat, left. There's a lefty, Bruheel. Justin Bruheel. Ball one on a sinker. They're going to stay sinker in on him. I mean, it didn't really work when Peralta did it. It's actually a 1-1 count, excuse me. That first pitch was a strike. Sweeper down and away. Nope, 2-1. Sinker coming again. Takes it, so a lot less aggressive than normal here. Another sinker. And he gets it to that perfect up-in spot. Does get the rollover, kind of beats him there. Good pitching there. Now, Svanson, first pitch sweeper. He's ready to swing. Ooh, a little bit too big of a hack. And the sweeper probably had some lift to it. No, it didn't. But pops it up anyway. One pitch out there. Roy Croft in the rain. Four-seam up ball. Cutter coming. Ball. So 2-0 count in the driver's seat here. Ready to hack, but doesn't. Got to be taken all the way here, and is. And then he's going to walk here after he challenges. Good challenge by Kevin there. He's correct, so he draws another walk. His walks to strikeouts have been pretty good. What's he working with? At the end of this, it'll be 9 walks, 8 strikeouts. I mean, what's not to like about that? So that is the second game versus the Cardinals. And then the third game versus the Cardinals was a game I attended and did the game for NBC, 4-5. Freezing cold in this game. All right, Leahy's going to draw a walk, 7-pitch walk. It's also a big part of his game. Sweeper ball 1, call strike coming on a four-seam. I still don't see any major trends. I mean, there's been a lot of curveball usage and a lot of changeup usage from the righties. This is like maybe the most four-seam attack we've seen in a while. But it makes sense on a really cold night. All right, curveball here, pulls that foul. Change up here. Spitting, and then he's going to walk on a fastball. So a nice grindy walk here, 7-pitch walk. Good takes across the board. Beautiful at bat. Second at bat versus Leahy, change up strike. Four-seam. So he's thrown him a few more fastballs than other guys. Four-seam here. Nope. Curveball called strike here. Looking for a fastball, so takes that, and then he's going to strike out on a changeup. A rare strikeout, but he wasn't looking for that, so he got messed up there a little bit. All right, next at bat for Leahy. I'm not sure he knows what to look for off of this guy yet. All right, curveball. Pulls it foul. He's definitely on fastball timing. Here comes the changeup. Leahy pitched really well against him. Oof, almost got him here. Just misses it. Look at the wind knock this ball down. 104.4 at 41. That's a home run in the summer all day long. And this is a hung changeup that he's all over. Look at that. And then the wind knocks it down. So he's been screwed out of a few things so far. So as good as his numbers are, they could be even better, to be honest with you. Really tough matchup here. Jojo Romero, sinker ball 1. But he seems to lock in really well against these late inning lefties. I mean, that Peralta at-bat really stands out. And then I think he's going to lock in here for a 4-pitch walk, yeah. He's not going to give in. He's going to make you throw him over the plate. So at a bare minimum, that's a great thing. Plus, he's also, I'm loving how ready to hit he is all the time. Riley O'Brien, I mean, first pitch, perfect sinker. So right on right sinker, down and away, can play. I think he can roll that pitch over a little bit. That's what we're seeing here. He comes in kind of uppercutty and glances off of it when it's there. But, I mean, that's a tight window to jam a ball down and away perfectly. So, good luck to all pitchers. Anyway, that's it for the Cardinals series. Next up, they go to Minnesota on the 6th. So, Detroit and Minnesota. This is a classic AL Central matchup, and he gets a 4-game set in here. So maybe he'll get a look at the relievers a few times. Joe Ryan is the first pitcher he sees. 4-seamer, down ball 1. Sinker after that. Off the plate away, 2-0. 4-seam coming here. Joe's got that incredible VAA, and that's maybe the first ball I've seen get over his bat. That's a fastball. But that's the Joe Ryan experience. Nice pitch. They're going to double up on that, try to go higher. Nope, they go lower, but he's under it again. Curveball. Good pitch. Got him off timing. Flies it out to center. All right, Joe Ryan again. 92-8. Dotted away. His ball just glides to the plate. 92-9. Another gliding ball to the bottom. And McGonigle feels like he's got painted on twice here. Pretty easy take on that split. And then here's a 4-seam again. And he just smacks it up the middle. And then they boot it at short. In the old days, this would have been a hit up the middle, obviously. He doesn't crush this ball, but he's ready to hit. And he was ready to swing on heater down after getting that second strike. So I think he's very quick to the ball. Like, his launch time to the ball feels minimal to me. All right, knuckle curve, third at bat versus Joe. Ball 1, splitter off that. Dirty. 4-seam off that. Another low heater, and he stays on it and drives it to left. That's a ground rule double. All right, next at bat he gets, my old friend Eric Orzi. Big-time forkball splitter thing. There it is. Strike 1, and then the second one's also a splitter. Really good splitter. This was a Mets guy when I was there. I saw him make his debut with us. Very hard worker. I mean, tremendous splitter, though. And this pitch is a good pitch to McGonigle. He gets him to swing at a pitch out of the zone. Hard to do. Truthfully, though, that's the first type of those he's seen ever, probably. All right, Cody Lawyerson in here. Changeup. So they're going more to that changeup splitter approach here than the Cardinals were. They're kind of trying what they saw the Diamondbacks do quite a bit of, which was basically sinkers or no fastballs. Ooh, and then they were able to get him up top. So he goes slow, slow, and then perfect up top, and he actually gets him to swing through. That's the pitch he hasn't been chasing like other guys do, but he gets him to chase there. All right, next game, 4-7 versus Detroit. Minnesota, excuse me. Sorry, my brain wandered there. All right, Taj Bradley is off to a good start this year. He's faced a lot of good pitchers. All right, first pitch, 4-seam. Bradley, another guy, has got a split, so I bet you we'll see a bunch of those splits and curveballs. Here's a cutter. Nasty with depth to it. 0-2 count. Now he's got a grind. Here's that curveball I was talking about. Wow, easy take out of the hand. I'm going to go back to that swing and miss cutter down. This time he's able to foul it. Curveball again.
Bradley's 1-2 to McGonigle. Doesn't bite on the breaking.
Spits on that. And here comes 97-3. And he could have challenged that. That was a bit low, but he doesn't at the beginning of the game, and he ends up going down on the down freeze. All right, second at bat versus Taj. Cutter fouled off. Here comes a four-seam.
Tigers and the impact that that's going to have as McGonigle.
He comes under that. That just beats him. Taj Bradley's heater looks tremendous in the first two at-bats. All right, third at-bat versus Taj. Scoreless game still. 97-5 down. Here comes that split. I was expecting to see more of these. Up 2-0. He's going to go 3-0. I think he's going to walk here. Spits on that fastball away, and then he's going to lose him here. He's also the type of guy you don't want. I mean, I think, oh, actually, he swings 3-0. I like the aggression to swing here 3-0. Somehow gets under it because that fastball is incredible. There's a lot going on in this play. Number one, this is not the hitter you want to see with a man on second and 2 outs because he's good at getting hits. That's the biggest thing. It doesn't matter power in this spot. It's hits. Second thing is, and let me look at the center field cam. Javi's doing something. Did you see that? Javi tips him off on something, so he knew fastball was coming. He just missed it, so that's probably why he swung there as well. So that was cool to see.
I think the home run.
All right, pops it up. All right, here's a first pitch sinker from Taylor Rogers, and he's going to hit it.
Explain why.
Man, and he just taps it into left. Left on left does not bother him at all, and they try to sinker him, but he can match that shape with his bat. Nice swing. All right, now he's going to get another at-bat versus Orsi. Remember, splitter. I think it was probably the day before this. Four-seam up ball. Splitter coming. Pulled foul. Four-seam coming. Nobody at this game. You're going to get a low freeze after a splitter with a splitter guy because they're going to think that pitch is down out of hand. Here's a splitter. Oh, what a piece of hitting. It's actually a perfect splitter again, but you know what? He saw it a few times and he understood it now, right? And then, I mean, just the ability to cover this. This pitch is so low and still hit it hard. The ability to cover this pitch is incredible. These pitches don't get hit. I mean, that's filthy. And he just lasers it down the line. How hard he hit that? 100. 100 like that. This is one of the better swings he's taken. Just goes to show you, it's not all about having your A swing. You got to be able to do stuff like that sometimes. Incredible swing right there. All right, that's it for that. On to the next one, which is the 8th versus the Twins. McGonigle 1 for 5. Bailey Ober. Bailey Ober's probably going to throw him some fastballs, even though they're slow. 88 for strike there. Here's another heater at 88. Ball. And in-play outs on a curveball.
And the 1-1 from Ober. Softly left field shallow. Martin racing in. Still coming. He'll get there.
Sometimes he does do that. Sometimes that's like some of his contact out is he slices under a ball and pops it up kind of to the opposite field. All right, slider here on 1-0. Takes that to 2-0. Still making great swing decisions across the board, I would say. 3-0. Man, I didn't realize Bailey Ober's throwing 88 these days. All right, 3-1. Here comes a slider. Don't want to give him a 3-1 cookie. Even with a 6-0 lead. Oh my God, foul ball. Change up here.
Comfortable in that box.
Taps that foul. And then a curveball is going to get him out. It's just so slow. He actually couldn't wait that well on it. Almost dunked it in. Actually, Austin Martin made a good play on both of those balls. All right, Ober again. Here's a sinker. Ball. Change up. Fouled. Not as locked in with his swing in this series so far. Yeah, just a tiny bit off. That's a pitch he can hit too. Pops it up. Ober did really well against him. Got 3 weak fly balls. Now Anthony Banda. First pitch sinker, base hit. The left-on-left sinker-in approach that they keep doing is not working. He's going to spray the ball somewhere, and he's ready to freaking hit. I love how ready to hit he is. Not everybody steps up there and is ready to hit that first pitch. He is. Nice job. Now we get Lawyerson. This guy actually punched his ticket earlier in the series. He went slow, fast up. Fastball away, fastball here. Ball 2-0. Oop, he's going to get to 3-0 here. Does he swing again? He does, and he gets out. So he swings 3-0 twice. I love the confidence, but Yeah, swings a little off at the moment versus the righties at least, and that's his 4th pop-up of the game, so a little bit of a weird performance on the 8th there. All right, the 9th, he only got 1 at-bat, so let's watch it. Same series, so he actually got a day off. AJ convinced him to not play for a day. Oh for 1. He got Orsi, so he gets to face Orsi 3 times. Got the hit on that splitter the last time. Fastball in, take, strike. Wonder if he's hunting splitter the whole time. This is a tough scenario as a reliever. That's why Orsi went fastball, fastball. Had to throw him off the scent of the split. Now he goes to the split 0-2. Honestly, pretty good swing. He hunted that split that at bat, I'm pretty sure. He got one of them and he hit it 96.6 at 27. Good swing, but it's a quality pitch as well. Not quite low enough if you're Eric, but great swing again by McGonigle. So that's his 1 outing in this game. And he puts a good swing on it. All right, 3 games remain. And it's versus Miami. Miami on the 10th. Just living in that leadoff spot now. And it is Mr. Paddock. 4-seam fastball. Ball 1. Changeups and curveballs probably the most obvious thing that I've seen. But, man, just guys just being careful, you know? They can tell he's a good hitter. Yeah, all over that fastball. So there it is. Now he's more on time. He got a little more on top of that ball after those couple that he popped up. That's a very quick adjustment. Comes back here and is all over a fastball, looking like Kevin was the first week of the season.
Who challenged a pitch and then
all right, changeup coming here. Ball.
Placed into right field.
Curveball down, ball. Changeup coming here.
2-0.
Ball. 3-0.
3-0.
4-seam strike.
Right.
Cutter coming here.
Yes.
Strike. Paddock trying to work back into this count here.
3-2.
Ooh, cutter fouled off. Weird foul ball there. 4-seam. On that. Spits it on foul. That was very Todd Helton-esque. Same there. And then he's going to draw a walk. So really wore him down here and ends up getting the walk. Fastball in, ball 4. All right, I'll be right back. All right, next at bat, he's going to start him with a changeup here. Ball. All over Paddock in this game. Just seeing it really well. Changeup there, actually. They challenge it and get it turned to a strike. 1-1. Curveball coming. In the dirt. Ball 2. 2-1.
Off the Baez homer.
Ooh, almost 2 ahead of the fastball there. Changeup here. Cutter here, excuse me. Inside gets out of the way. Back to another 3-2 count. He's really good at getting the 3-2. Gets to that 4-seam up in, fouls it away. Here's a changeup. Perfect pitch, gets the rollover. So up in, down and away. Perfect sequence, perfect pitch to get him out. So it took a lot to get him out there. All right, Luke Bachar. Fastball top of the zone, strike 1. Not a good pitch to swing at, though. Good take. Fastball coming again. Ball. Curveball off those. Great take. It's actually a ball, but he gets called strike, so it goes to 1-2. Here's a splitter. Stays on that, fouls it off, and a sweeper's going to strike him out looking. So he's gotten frozen by righty sweeper twice. Once was Dustin May, if I recall. All right, we're getting close. 4-11. Detroit and Miami. Jansen Junk. He of the new lower arm slot, better fastball. All right, first pitch, 4-seam ball. Second pitch, 4-seam. He's going to be on it. Yep. Nice line drive to right center. That should be a double. Yep, nice double, nice swing. How hard? 106.2 at 14. That's the thing. He packs a punch. He packs a punch. All right, second at bat for Junk. First pitch, curveball.
To be clear, I skipped over.
Called strike.
Yeah.
Second pitch
And
curveball.
now it says 4 bags of chips as well. All this means is the market for chips is much.
Four seam fastball.
1-1.
Oh, almost hit a double down the line right there. Here's another fastball. Ball 2-2. Fastball coming. Oh, great take. Slider coming. Another 3-2. Spits on that easily. So another walk. I mean, he just doesn't give in. He's a tough out every time. This would be my nightmare and a lot of pitchers' nightmares. This guy. Foul ball, and 2 sliders. Kind of weird swings at those. So he goes triple slider. Spits on that. He just gets even tighter with 2 strikes. And then it's like the strike zone just must feel so small when you're facing him. Fouls that one off. Here's a sweeper. This has worked a few times. This time he hacks at it, and then another slider. So Jansen Junk goes all breaking balls in this at-bat. Does get him out. Gets him to roll over a slider there. But it's not easy. Nothing easy. Nothing comes easy. Another 7 pitches. All right, Michael Peterson. This guy's got a good fastball. Fouls off that first one. Here's the second one.
Career save on that game in Cincinnati on the 8th.
Weird miss, and then another fastball. So triple fastball is one of the rare guys attacking him with heaters, but that's Peterson's strength. And he just misses that, flies it out to right. All right, last game. And it's going to be a good one. 3 for 4 here on the 12th. And he's going to face Sandy in this one. That's great. All right, first at bat for Sandy. First pitch sinker. Got to be ready to hit for Sandy, and he is. But it's a good pitch. Comeback sinker up in. Just misses it, slices under it, pops it up to left. 1 pitch, 1 out. Second at bat for Sandy. It's going to be a first pitch changeup. Good take. Great take. Ball 1. Changeup coming again.
After the numbers had jumped in 2020.
Swing and miss. Changeup coming again. That's down. Great take. 2-1. Here comes 97-4. So changeup, fastball. And he's on top of it. Smashes it into right for a hit. Great swing there. 106.7. Nice line drive. I mean, he's just really good. Fastball here. Oop, on time for that. And that's going to be a homer. That's going to be his first homer. How hard? 108.8 at 35, 408 feet. Always on time, always ready to hit. And he finally connects on that fastball. I think you're going to see most of his home runs that look like this. Just majestic shots to straightaway right. But, you know, we've seen the contact game and the walks throughout this entire video, and there's a little thump. Nice swing there. Let's look at it from the side. Oh, that was beautiful. Beautiful flow. All right, next at bat, still Sandy. Carter fouled off. Change up off that. Good take. Sinker off that. Great take on that sinker. Here comes a cutter. 3-1 count. And he's going to walk. So even, I mean, against Sandy, he had a tremendous day at the plate. Tremendous day at the plate. Got on 3 times. Tyler Phillips. Curveball down. Splitter coming. Really good splitter on this guy, too. 2-0. No cookie fastball 2-0. He gets the curveball. And here's the fastball on 2-1. And he's back on time again. So he fixed whatever was ailing him in the previous series, and then he got right back locked in. He looks great right now again. Honestly, he's been incredible this whole time. He hasn't hardly given away any pitches. He hasn't hardly given away any at-bats. More walks than strikeouts. Line drives all over the field. He's on time for the heater. I haven't seen anything that definitely works. Down and away, of course. Up in at times. But those are 2 very small windows to fit it into. 920 OPS at the moment. He's well on his way. He's making the Tigers a lot better. So this is what a great first 68 plate appearances looks like in the big leagues. He's been awesome. All right, let's check him out on my heat maps. Here's him versus righties on the fastballs. I mean, they're all right down the middle. You can't, anything down the middle, he's all over. So look, there's tiny little spots. Up, in, down, away. But even up in, there's a little bit of red. But it's just crazy because that's a big old red spot in the middle. All right, on off-speed pitches, they've been relatively effective, but a lot of that red below the zone is good takes, so quality takes. And then he's done pretty well defending the outside corner on that. And then on the changeups, been pretty effective in zone, so I think that's what you'll see a lot more of from righties. But again, really good takes just below. And then on the lefties, yeah, if they get it to the perfectly up and in, but everywhere else on the fastballs, he's been on it. Nobody's thrown him a change or a split, and there's been very little breaking balls either. They've tried to crowd him. He's faced a lot of sinker guys that are lefties, so interesting there. Looking at his swing path, Kevin McGonigle. So, yeah, so attack angle 16 degrees. That is quite uppercutty, so that's interesting to see for as good as he is at contact. Also 39-degree swing pack tilt, so he's like very much a side bend up hitter, but I think he keeps his barrel in the zone a long time. And this is a big thing too. Intercept point versus front of plate, 8.5 inches in front of the plate. So he's catching balls out front. He is on time for the fastball. To me, that's the number one thing that stands out. Also, he has above average bat speed or close to it for his size, which is also incredible. I just couldn't be more impressed with the kid. He's looking great so far. What else in bat tracking? Anything interesting? Swing length, nothing crazy long. So it's a short swing that can create balls in the air. And he's got a decent bat speed and just incredible contact ability and eye at the plate, as you can see in the StatCast numbers. 96th percentile in whiff, 93rd percentile in K. That's where you want to be. Chase, 74th percentile. All those things are great. And on top of that, he hits the ball pretty damn hard. So that's Kevin McGonigle. He's been the most impressive of the ones we've looked at so far. If you like this, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching.